Welcome to the Church Answers podcast. My name is Jess Rayner. I'm here with my dad, Tom Rayner. And Dad, today may be my favorite podcast ever. Do you know why?
Because you're recording another one with me?
No, because there's someone else with us today. And every time we have someone else with us, it becomes my favorite podcast, which means me and you just don't have to have a conversation. We are super, super excited to have Keith Getty with us today on the podcast. Welcome, Keith.
Hey, Jess, it's great to be here, and great to see you too. Your dad and I've done so many podcasts over the years, and I think he kind of got bored with me. So I'm glad you're here to sort of spice it up. It's great.
You've been in other worlds, Keith. I'm just glad to get you back in my orbit.
I've been everywhere, man.
You've been everywhere.
I tell you what.
And the music has already started here at the Church Answers podcast. Before we talk about some music today and really talking about something really cool that the Gettys have put together, we want to take a minute and thank one of our sponsors for this podcast. It is Wesley Biblical Seminary. If you are not familiar with Wesley Biblical Seminary, they are focused on developing trusted leaders for faithful churches. And they have all different types of programs, anywhere from certificates all the way up to doctoral degrees. They also have a really flexible online format. And so if you're listening to this podcast and you're joining us and you're thinking, man, I'd love to get a deeper biblical education, we encourage you to check out Wesley Biblical Seminary. Go to WBS, that's Wesley Biblical Seminary, WBS.edu, WBS.edu. If you're with us on YouTube and you click on some show notes, there's a link down there as well. But we are super thankful for them. We're thankful for their work, and we're thankful that they continue to help bring biblical education to so many people.
So, Jess, to say Keith Getty and I go way back would make me look old, which I am, but it also may look like he is old as well, which he is not. I knew Keith and Kristyn when they were only moderately famous. And now they are just off the charts famous. And Keith humbled himself to come on this podcast once again with me. Keith, I'm almost speechless, and I prefer that way too, just like your wife prefers to say less and while you continue to talk incessantly.
Well, taking the very nature of a servant, Tom, just to finish the the words you began. I share a house with 5 women, so I'm used to doing what I'm told. And but it is a fun house. It is full of rich conversation. And actually, Jess, you're mentioning Wesley Theological Seminary. And this is my office. That's my picture of Bach behind me, who's one hero. The other one is actually Charles Wesley over there.
There you go.
Who was actually so little extra plug there for Wesley Theological Seminary. We write hymns, and these 2 guys really changed how people in modern society think about church music, and inspired me. And so to be one more link in the chain, passing it on from those who've gone before to my kids and the next generation's real privilege. And Tom and I had some wonderful and actually some hilarious experiences together. Certainly between 2015 and 2018, they were a really, really special time, really special season.
It was. And we're back together, even if it's for a short time. Give my best to Kristyn and the girls, and we want to talk to you.
Well, it is great. It's great. And we look forward to this.
So I know you get introduced in a lot of different ways, and my guess is most people will say something about "In Christ Alone." You probably can't get away from that. Somebody might say
song. It was the first song. It's like you're stuck, you know.
Yeah, but it's still huge. I read somewhere, I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, that 100 million people sing the song every year. I don't know.
We sing it at our church.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Well, it was, we wanted to write. Back in 2000, I was leading little Bible studies, and people wanted to do modern songs. And at that point, what most people today don't realize is, if you're much younger than us, is when if they wanted a modern song, you basically had to pick a song that was mostly right or kind of right. Do you know what I mean? They weren't deep. And they certainly weren't going to be an investment for your life, because they were written in a way that you'd be sung for 3 to 5 years and dumped. And so we wanted to write something that was richer in its theology, but also had written in a more timeless musical and poetic style. And so the idea was the first song, the subtitle was The National Anthem of Christianity. That's right, The National Anthem of Christianity. And it was audaciously, it was the first song we released. And as I said, it opened doors to be able to share what has become really, we hope, a sung grammar for 21st century Bible believers. And so it's a great way to start, but a hard act to follow. And certainly my daughters have no shortage of jokes about what they wouldn't want to do with that song.
Get us into the world of hymn writing for a moment, Keith. How do you start? What's your vision? What do you do? Obviously, it's prayerfully done, but just I can't imagine writing a hymn.
No, I mean, it's very different from, the great thing about for a preacher is Sunday's coming. So you deliver something on a Sunday, you're feeding people each week. The hymns that feed people tend to be the extraordinary outlier. It's the song that says something that you've never heard quite said like that before, and also that sounds like nothing you've ever quite heard before, in such a way that you just can't wait to play it again, or to sing it on Sunday, or to teach your congregation, or to hear them sing it. And so it tends to be 99%, perspiration, 1% inspiration, because you just have to keep writing to try and get those songs. And I mean, we at the minute, according to CCLI, we're the number one writer of top 500 songs, and in America we're number 4, which sounds good. But because we've got, I think in America we've got 20 or so songs in the top 500, and in the UK about 40. But all that means is that if you spend 100 days a year or to 200 days a year doing your job of writing songs, 1 or 2 days, you're going to have that moment that lightning in a bottle happens, and that's what most people would say is a prolific catalog. A prolific catalog where you've like 1 or 2 good days a year, So, although to be honest, most of the big songs end up. The song "Christus Victor" that we released recently, which has just been really encouraging. It was 9 months of going back and forward as well. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but essentially the essence of the moment that you create something new happens once or twice a year at a big level. So it's a little bit frustrating. But the great thing about it is that 20% of the Bible, as you know, is songs and poetry. The history of Christianity is punctuated with the songs of our faith. Alistair Begg always says, "As the church sings, so the church goes." And so the privilege of being able to put words in people's mouths and in their memory banks and in their souls is a holy job. And it is a job that every pastor and every parent has a sober responsibility with. It's not something like the gardening that we can do, or we can hire out to somebody else who's talented at it. It is something that each of us before God are responsible for. And in sharing and in flowering and in encouraging.
So, Jess, if I were to ask you, what pastor do you listen to the most, that influences you to the most, which pastor would that be?
Oh, yeah, definitely not Tom Rainer.
That was a softball. That wasn't the answer I was looking for, but that was a softball.
That is such a kid answer.
It's the answer that came to mind. No, they are some of the modern preachers, living preachers today. Alistair Begg is definitely at the top of the list. He's one.
Did you know Alistair was his pastor?
I did not realize. I did not know that. Make that connection.
Yeah.
When he moved to Nashville, that was one of the points of grief for their family. Yeah.
He wrote the preface for the hymnal, though. He wrote the foreword for the hymnal.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, he did the opening talk at the launch at Sing, which was the US launch, and he's coming with us to the UK on the Christmas tour. They're doing 3 shows in Britain to launch it in Britain in December. So it's cool.
This is how much I enjoy his preaching. It's been greatly influential on me. Just on a side note, just because of how he brings Scripture to life. But this is how much I enjoy him. I go on runs and I actually listen to his sermons while I'm running. So that takes some love right there to listen to a sermon on some runs.
Yeah.
But we love the work you're doing as well.
I don't run or listen to his sermons. So does that make me a lesser Christian? Does that make me unfit for ministry?
No, I'm trying to get to your level. So I have to do all this extra work to get to that level.
So just to let you know, our podcast almost 100% unedited. In other words, we don't care. Jess, you just told me my mic is hot. Am I still hot?
You're good now.
Okay.
I think there was a moment there, but you're good now.
Okay. I just turned the mic down. And by the way, Keith, his older brother is getting ready to run 100-miler. He did a 50-miler. So
wow. Did you make them all run when they were young, Tom?
I ran with them continuously. We played golf together. We fished. We hunted. We ran together. Isn't that right, Jess?
The only running that my parents made me do is when we were rambunctious in the car and they would make us get out and run around the car. That was the only required running that they ever gave us.
And now all three boys are runners. Can you believe it?
It's amazing.
And neither parent is a runner. We're going to do 2 podcasts with Keith, and when we get to the second one, I want to talk a lot about the hymnal. But let's just give us updates on, you've been doing it kind of informally, some other things that are going on in your life. You talked about your Christmas tour. You've talked about singing. Some of our audience aren't going to connect with all of that. They may be new, and so that's not an insult, by the way. It's just that there may be some newer people on the podcast.
We obviously we write hymns, in Christ alone, or Christ our hope in life and death, or Christus Victor, or Speak, O Lord, or Power of the Cross. These kind of songs we've written over the years. And but we head up a publishing company with 15 writers. So many of the other songs like His Mercy Is More, or He Will Hold Me Fast, or Come Behold the Wondrous Mystery, are songs that we publish with a group of other writers. And then we have a record label, which really tries to create beautiful versions of hymns of all sizes, shapes and sizes. And we have 7 brands inside that. And then we do the Sing Conference each September, which is kind of our State of the Union in church music. And we do a little touring, but we're really more focused now on raising 4 daughters. And
True.
So our events are more exceptional. We're doing 3 arenas the week before Christmas in the UK to launch the Hymnal in the UK, which we're very, really excited about. And then this wonderful new partnership with Crossway after old Rainier, after old Uncle Tom there, decided to take early retirement. We ended up eventually having to work with Crossway, and they've been a wonderful partner. And the Sing Hymnal is really a hymnal for every Christian. It's for every Christian individual, but it's really for Christian leaders, and then for Christian families, and then for churches that want to use hymnals as well. And it's been a labor of love. It's something we wanted to do. We released we finished it just before my 50th birthday, and it was released this September.
You're 50.
Yeah. Can you
I didn't
believe
think.
it?
Oh man.
It's such an exciting.
And I'm 70.
You're 70, Tom?
I'm 70, Keith.
You need to quit soon. I hear your buddy's retiring as well from Southeastern.
Yeah, he is. Danny
Danny Boy.
You know what I thought you said?
I
thought you said, I was listening to your accent. Did you pick up on that? I thought he said my body is retiring.
That's what
your buddy, Danny.
I heard body as well.
That accent came.
Return as well. What has happened to this world?
It's called aging. It's a very natural process, Keith.
It's good.
That culminates in an eschatological reality that is very supernatural, and we're all looking forward to it. You will as well. You're way.
Tell you what. No,
well, I want to take a moment here, just as we kind of reach.
Oh yeah. I forgot
the midway point.
The midway sponsor. Yes,
I love this. I feel like I got a front row seat to 2 friends having a great conversation. So to interrupt the conversation here,
I'm saying nothing of meaning whatsoever.
I want to take a minute and thank our second sponsor for this podcast. We are very, very excited to partner with Upward Sports, and they are all about helping you as a church leader reach your community. And what they want to do right now, I know if you're watching this or listening to this podcast as it's being released, it is late October. They want to help you start planning for 2026. They have pretty much every type of sport you can think of that you can use to help reach your community, from basketball to soccer to flag football to running for adults to pickleball, all these great sports. We would love to have you go and talk with Upward and see what they could do to help you reach your community in 2026. Go to upward.org/church answers. Again, that's upward.org, upward.org/church answers, and just get on a phone call with them. If you haven't started planning out your 2026, well, here you go. Here's how you do it. You go to upward.org/church answers and see what they can do for you. We're super thankful for them. Well, I'll let you two get back to your conversation here. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a front row seat to this, but I did want to thank one of our sponsors there for a moment.
So Keith, when you and I when we've gotten together in the past, we've talked about a lot of things. Talk to us about why you chose to come to the U.S. and then specifically why you and Kristyn decided to relocate in Nashville some years later.
Well, we started writing the hymns in the year 2000, and then we got married in the year 2004. Took me a long time to persuade Kristyn that I wasn't.
How old is Kristyn? 24?
Well, she was 6 years younger. It took her a long time to realize that actually an uptight, overweight classical music playing Presbyterian was what she always dreamed of, and but she finally did, and we started writing the hymns. And America seemed like we were only going to come for 2 years, really, just because so many organizations like Lifeway and Southern and Southeastern and were beginning to contact us because they were using these hymns, and so we thought we'd come for 2 years, and it turned out America was really the best place to be strategic. I mean, we looked at it in the year 2000 as there are more Christians in the world today than at any point in human history. More Christians in the world than any point in human history. But the average person who calls himself an evangelical knows less about the Old Testament than your average secular high school student in Britain in 1945, post-World War II. And so, how do we build deeper believers? And what was inspiring us was there was a whole generation of preachers coming through, and many of them were friends of Tom's, who were really, reestablishing solid Bible teaching. And that was a good thing. But it was a narrow thing. It wasn't looking at, well, actually, we learn our faith significantly through what we sing. Most people, I think if you do a poll, or what Bible verses they know, if list out all the Bible verses they can say by memory, though, just to take something obvious, over half of those will almost certainly be ones that they sing. So they will have learned the Bible verse through what they sing. So we don't want schizophrenic Christians who are taking the Bible seriously and then singing dumb songs. It builds unhealthy. It builds unhealthy Christians. So that was what we started to do. And then we wanted to be with Alistair because we were going to go for 2 years touring, and then we extended it. And then we realized Cleveland probably wasn't the most strategic place. And we began to build some friendships. You guys reached out to us, ironically, when you were doing your hymnal way back, I think, in 2008 or so. And right. So groups like that, we got to know the Nashville community, and it seemed like the best place to go. Talked it through with Alistair and others. And so we honestly probably talk and work with him more now than we did when we were there. But we continued we came down here and made this the base. And really, we realized different... we moved here in 2010. So we moved to America in 2005. 2010, moved down here. 2015, we began the conversation with Tom when I turned 40 about how do we create a book that distills all the things. We actually began it just before that. But I knew at 40, I really wanted to distill what we'd learned.
Is that the one that created a lot of conflict?
What?
The book?
No. internal yes. Marital conflict, I think.
That's what I meant.
So we did the Sing book and the Sing conference started, and of course that was a really wonderful opportunity, and that led to us really having working with the whole stable of writers. It was quite unorthodox because the writers came to us and said, "Will you publish us?" And we weren't publishers. We originally started with publishers. So that was a really interesting season, and then at 45. We realized, no, actually, one of the things you want to do by 50 is create a hymnal because,
it was on my bucket list too.
Yeah. No, I was hoping we would have done it. I was hoping we'd have got to do another one, but you know what? That's okay. As I say, we couldn't have asked for more. Crossroads just been the most perfect.
And I got to say, you're the Gettys years partnering with Lifeway were some of the most fun times that I had.
Yeah.
Y'all were always a break from a lot of things, just a lot of things.
No.
So any time you would come, I get to hear Kristyn sing and I get to hear you talk, and that's the best combination.
Yeah. No, that's funny. Well, was she? We did. One of my daughters said, "Dad, sometimes I feel like I got your concentration and Mom's sense of humor." And I went, "Oh, really?" I think her implication was it was the wrong way around. But anyway, so we started to do the hymnal. And, we did one of the interviews we did with Sing Conference, if you remember, was I did the last interview of J.I. Packer's life. Mm-hmm. And it was an amazing interview because he was saying, "I don't understand why Christians don't sing 3 old hymns and 1 new hymn." And I said, "Why is that?" In my head, I'm thinking, old man. And he goes, "Well, the pastoral value of an old hymn is much greater than a new hymn. And I'm saying, excuse me, you know who you're talking to here. And he's going like, no, because if you teach them an old hymn, they will almost certainly carry it for 50 years. That is pastorally much more helpful to the people you love and shepherd than a new hymn that will almost certainly be sung for 5 years. And
unless you write it.
Well, we're hoping. I mean, you know, I did an event recently, and they said that I was getting an award, and they were saying, you know, this is we think their closing line was, "We think your hymns will outlast your life." And one of the vice presidents of the organization was saying, when he turns to me and goes, "I could make that prophecy come true, you know, Keith." But anyway, so I think with the hymnal there were several things. One was we wanted to get people excited about the great hymns of the faith that they can carry with them. And then secondly, we wanted to curate hymns, because, you know, curating is so important. In the sense that the songs you carry, all of Christian history, Christian worship has been curated until the last quarter of a century. There's very few new things in the world. As G.K. Chesterton said, there's no new ideas, there's just old ideas and new people. Well, one actually curious new thing is all of Christian history was curated singing. There was either no singing, there was psalms, there was liturgy, there was localized singing, because most of history was rural and without internet and without media. Or else, fifthly, there was hymnals. And in other words, the leaders of the church, Jess's church, sang the songs that Jess either chose himself or out of the hymnal that Jess chose the church would have. And we're in a place at the minute where we've got, even on CCLI alone, you've got a choice, I think, about 325,000 songs to choose from on a Sunday. Well, there's a problem with that, because the Bible gives us hymns and it also gives us a hymnal. So what the collection of what we sing is important. I know you find, you know, conservative Baptists are all excited about your expositional Bible teaching. And one of the reasons you do that is because you don't want to follow the swing of culture or the swing of your moods, but rather you want to follow through the Word of God and give people the whole big picture of the faith. And I think a hymnal is doing a similar thing. If you just sing whatever the cool songs are right now, you sing the songs that your worship leaders like best, that your congregation makes them happy. And so you get this kind of unbalanced sort of language and literature. And so that's been the big kind of passion of the last few years. And it's been exciting to get going.
The good news is that we've got another podcast, and I want to laser focus on the hymnal itself. No, it's impossible to get Keith Getty to laser focus on anything. I want us to be as focused as possible on that. So we're going to come back. Jess is going to say thank you again to Wesley Biblical Seminary, and we're going to come back and we're going to do another podcast. But stay tuned for that one, because that one is going to be Keith Getty and the hymn writer. What have you got there, Keith?
It's sparkling water and lime juice. It's my favorite drink. Good.
I am so relieved. Jess, you want to tell us about Wesley Biblical Seminary?
Yeah. This is a chance for us to thank Wesley Biblical Seminary one more time. We thanked them at the beginning of this podcast, but we're super thankful for them and their partnership with Church Answers. We love what they're doing. We love their education, how it is a flexible online format. They're all about equipping men and women called by God. And so if you're looking to grow in your biblical education, maybe you've been looking for that bachelor's degree or master's degree, maybe you've been looking for that doctoral degree, we encourage you to go check out Wesley Biblical Seminary. You can go to wbs.edu. Again, that stands for Wesley Biblical Seminary, wbs.edu, and just go see what they can do. You'll be very, very impressed, and we are as well with what they're doing. And so they just might be the fit you're looking for your education. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us, all you listeners on this podcast. This is a chance for you to go refill your sparkling water with lime juice as we prepare for the next episode with Keith Getty, and we're going to be talking about his new hymnal, and we're going to be, again, laser focusing on that, and we look forward to having you on that episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you then.